What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Make sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. I think this is an interesting story with The Rock, Dwanye Johnson, coming out and saying this because ultimately, I don't want celebrities endorsing any political messaging, including the leader of the country. So I see this as an absolute win, personally. That being said, there's different reasons for why people think he may be coming out and saying this now and not doubling down and voting for Biden again or signaling again. One of those is he's returning to wrestling, who notoriously has a higher conservative base than liberal. So probably not going to be great for him to be screaming Biden's name while going on there and trying to wrestle. But let's see what's going on here. Of course, bounding into comics, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has recently expressed some regret for endorsing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the 2020 presidential election, claiming that he won't show support for any candidates going into this year's presidential race. In a recent interview with Fox News political commentator Will Cain, Johnson explained that he will not be endorsing any presidential candidates this upcoming election, going through some of the reasons he deemed necessary to use his influence to support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the first time in 2020. Of course, that is the interview. I don't feel like getting claimed. It took me some time to recognize that, Johnson said, of the level of influence he found himself having as a popular person, rather. At first, I was, in a way, adverse to fame, and I didn't understand the power of it, how it could swing both ways, he elaborated. And finally, as I got down the road a little bit, started achieving some notoriety, a little bit of success here and there, I start to realize, oh man, this is a superpower. Yeah, and it's a power that's often misused for the wrong reasons. And I'd wager it doesn't have as much power as it did once. The fame is a superpower when used correctly, I believe, Johnson continued, when you could use it to influence people and also use it to influence other people in terms of, again, being direct and being honest. Cain would fixate on this last part, pointing out that the Black Adam actor, used his fame to endorse Biden and Harris in 2020, even though he never politically supported candidates before this election, asking Johnson how he feels about this decision now and whether he's happy with the current state of America. Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, the answer to that is no, the actor declared, adding, do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. Johnson proceeds to tackle Cain's question about his supporting of the Biden-Harris campaign, stating that the endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one that I thought was the best decision for me at the time. And I thought back then, when we talked about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then, he said. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with, this is who I'm going to endorse. That's the devil thought, is these celebrities that think, oh, it's my job, it's my responsibility. No, it's not. It's not your fucking job. It's not your responsibility. I don't know who told you that, but shame on those people. Your only job, your only responsibility you have is to the role and the script and the director and the cast and your fellow actors. Make good movies, make good art, and fuck back off to your mansions. Please, dear God in heaven above or below, or whoever's listening, make this happen. Yeah. And I thought back then we talked, okay, so he at the time thought it was a good idea to use that. He then claimed, am I going to do that again this year? The answer is no, I'm not going to do that, because what I realized, and I didn't realize it back then, but I realized today, and then just like I am today, very lucky, Jesus, I was then the most followed American man in the world, and I am today the most followed American man in the world. That is a sentence to say out loud, and I appreciate that, Johnson admitted, noting, but I also realized that what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division, and that got me. Yeah, would it be shocking for you to know that a lot of The Rock's actual fans that go and spend money on him in his movies and his wrestling are of the center right to full right persuasion. Appearing to express regret, the Jumanji, the next level actor elaborated, I didn't realize it then. I just thought, hey, our country feels like there's a lot of unrest. It feels like I would like things to calm down. Maybe we need a change. This is what I'm going to do, and this is who I'm going to endorse. Boy, and mean tweets are the least of the country's problems now. The takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize, like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So I realize now, going into this election, I'm not going to do that, Johnson claimed. I wouldn't do that because my goal is to bring our country together, he added. I believe in that in my DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just that I realize this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself. And God bless this man for that revelation. I'm going to keep my politics to myself. If every celebrity could be poofed in the head and have that relate, I'm going, stop mid-sentence. And I'm going to keep my politics to myself. And Mark Ruffalo and all the Marks stopped posting on social media about anything other than movies and fun stuff. Yeah, that would be great. Interestingly, Johnson did admit that regardless of his decision, he's willing to support the candidate that ultimately ends up winning the presidential race. But I will, sounds like he's prepping the road. But I will tell you this. Well, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people. I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president, and that's who I'm going to support 100%. Well, no comment on that. With the caption that read, "As political and independent and centrist, I've voted for both parties in the past. In this critical presidential election, this was back in the day, so he's not doing that anymore." We'll see. We'll see. I do understand the people that say he's just doing this because he's back in wrestling. This also a little bit of maybe fair weather politics, where you can see, I mean, this is a lot. You can see the article here. I'm not going to go to it, but where Hollywood actor Michael Rappaport reiterates voting for Trump is on the table. Right. Because I think at the end of the day now, you've had 4 years of Biden. Okay, this is what they can do. I'm sorry. I get it. I didn't like him at first, too. I know you don't like Trump because of the mean tweets. I know he says very rude, abrasive things. But when it comes right down to it, maybe he wasn't that bad. Either way, so the big takeaway from all of this, besides the chicken nuggies, is The Rock has learned the lesson that I hope every celebrity learns. And that's like, I don't want to know about your politics, your social or your governmental politics. Please, God's above, just go and make your movies, because even that's getting harder and harder, as we're seeing. But other than that, let me know what you think of this. Do you think The Rock's just doing this because he's getting back into wrestling, or do you think this is a genuine realization that he's come to, that his superpower of influence maybe should be used with a bit more responsibility than just going along the party lines? Because all you're doing is, and that's the real result here. If you want to go for the business thing, all you do is end up alienating half your audience. We saw this with Disney and all that. When you call half your audience racisms and all the ists and the Yahtzees and the bad guys from World War II, you alienate, and thus you lose half of the money from those people. So The Rock, maybe don't alienate half your audience, and you'll get bigger budget movies than Jumanji. Because if you look up his #1 movies, it's the Jumanji movies. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And do you smell what The Rock is?
Well, bye.